Mewgenics. Okay. Oh well. Oh well, well, well. Oh well, oh well, well. Oh well, 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 oh well. Alright. That was weird. Whoa. 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 Oh my gosh.
Mewgenics.
Guys, stop. Sorry, I didn't mean to yell in the mic just now. Just posting on socials, is this? Why always asking you to check your fucking email? I don't just have it ready to go. Come on now. Ita, stop. Okay, I think there's... Where is my link tree? It's so loud to me. I don't know if it's loud. I don't know if it's loud to you if you're watching, but it's so loud to me. Mewgenics! Know what I mean? Know what I mean, jelly bean? What is this other one? Phone call. Look at my channel and find out, I guess. How do I save it? What? Shouldn't that be it? Like it's done now? I did it. I thought I did it. Dude, stop. Get out of here. Okay, let's do this. Should be good. Okay, finally, the link works again. I don't know why it didn't. All right. Sorry, I'm just making sure that my all my stuff's working here. Yep. Yes, indeedy, good sir. Yes, indeedy. Good sir, good madam. Good everybody. Hi. Hello. Well. Hello. Hi. If you're on the shorts feed, then feel free to switch it to horizontal because that's where my face cam is. And if you don't care about seeing my face, then that's cool too. That's cool too. I gotta say why, but that's cool too. You know? Why? You know? You know? Why? 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 So obviously, I know that it doesn't like me clicking outside of it. Mewgenics. That could be a bug. But it doesn't like me clicking outside of it once I've clicked into it. So, we're just going to start from here. Hello, hi, welcome, hi, I'm Goose. You may see a black screen right now, but I assure you that things are happening. All right, things are happening. They're all over the place, and they're happening all over the place, and that's just how they roll. I don't know. Anywho, hi.
Mewgenics.
Yep, it did that thing again. Darn it! Yeah, it doesn't like you doing that at all. From what I can see. If I could find the cursor mode. Come on. Oh. There we go. I knew that would fix it. Alright. Alright, so if you are in the horizontal view, now you can probably see my face cam. Hello, face cam status. What's up? And then
let's change this. Don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. I'm here. There. There we go. I mean, it's whatever. Not supposed to look like that, but it's fine. That's how we got to do it, just so that we can see everything. Otherwise, it shows up as a black square, and we don't like that. Although I turned that on, and that worked. All right, if you're just coming into the YouTube, I turned on low latency this time. Can you just kind of say hi and say what's up and let me know what's going on and all that kind of shit? I really just want to test and see if the chat's working correctly. So just do a little testy test. I didn't mean to say testes. Fix the link. All the stuff is up already. All the stuff is up. It's up. All the stuff it's up. So normally, we talk about political stuff on Mondays. This is what I wanted to do. I wanted to turn down this goddamn music. Alright. So hopefully you can probably still hear that. Just let me know. Alright? Let me know if the game volume is too low. Let me know if you need me to turn it up, and I will turn it up. I kind of wanted to do a little bit of a clickbait here. For just a second. Hang on. One moment. Let's see. Where's the art section? This will fill in animation. And then, that's it. Alright, so Mewgenics is up as the title on the Twitch stream, so, you know, just to see if anyone wants to trickle into here from their, you know, whatever popular streamer they were watching. You know, I'll get the sloppy seconds, as it were. I don't know why I had to phrase it like that, but you know what? That's how we got here. I'm gonna, you know, it'll be on the shorts feed. I think it'll be a little different, just because that title there is now. Where is it? I unsubbed from Comics Explained. Ask me why. The reason being, because a lot of my viewer base comes from the controversial topics. So, you know, if it's trending and people get heated about it, then I tend to be able to get, you know, a base viewership off of it, which is, you know, helpful. And ideally, what happens after that is, you know, I'm able to get Fralming.
Why do people are reposting my a post I made from like 5 years ago? Or no, I guess it was about a year ago now. Yep, we are almost a year from when my my pup passed away. And I know that's a little bit of a downer, but you know, we got the baby, the fat baby, and she's doing well. She's integrated herself into the family quite nicely. She's a fat baby, you know. She does everything a fat baby does. If you imagine a fat baby just like tromping all over the place, that's what she does. So, you know. All right, I'm gonna go close the door because the pups have definitely made full use of the restroom, and I will be right back. All right. So, yeah. There is one thing that I did. So again, Mondays are typically MAGA Monday, which means that this is typically the day that we talk about politics and just stuff that's happening in the current politicosphere. And usually that means like talking about, you know, like the old MAGA crowd and culture wars and all that kind of stuff. You know, it's just kind of MAGA Monday. It just makes sense. It rolls off the tongue. And I did just kind of want to explain right up front pretty much the reason why I made the title that I did. I did Unsubbed From Comics Explained. Not that anyone cares. I mean, I'm not an important figure. I don't have a platform. I'm not like, you know, one of these guys who has any kind of influence over anything. So obviously I can't be looked at as brigading because no one cares about my opinion. But what I can do is I can at least express whatever opinion I think is necessary in this particular situation. And, you know, maybe that might offer some information or some, you know, some insight into the situation as it currently lies. I had always kind of been a little weirded out by the way that Rob does things. If you're not familiar with Comics Explained, allow me to paint a picture. A picture, if I may. Sorry, I'm just so uncomfortable. It's part of the ADHD. I'm uncomfortable in my own skin. I'm uncomfortable in my clothes. That's how things are in my life. So we are going to get into Mewgenics. My nose is running as well. I haven't even taken my ADHD meds today. Isn't that crazy? So we're going to talk very briefly about the Comics Explained situation. I'm just going to put this a little bit lower volume. You can still hear it, but I do want my voice to be a little louder than than the music. So again, if you're just joining on the YouTube joining from the Shorts feed, feel free to turn it horizontal if you want to see my face. If not, leave it vertical. It's up to you. But so Rob from Comics Explained. Who is Rob from Comics Explained? Let's see. Let us see. So, that's Rob from Comics Explained, and I'm wondering
I didn't necessarily want to watch the guy's video
Okay, it's time to have
about
a
it
very hard
again.
conversation about what is objectively YouTube's biggest comic book content creator. Let's talk about it. So you guys have probably already heard the news by now. I'm sure it's already made the rounds, and the drama has already ensued. But yes, YouTube's
browser
biggest comic
on.
book content creator has been called, and not only has he been called, he's been called by me. Here's the thing that I want to put up front about this, and
So
what this video is about, and what it's not about. For one, I don't care that Rob doesn't cover black characters on his channel during Black History Month. I don't even really care that Rob doesn't cover black characters on his channel unless it's convenient for him, or there's some algorithmic gain he can get out of it, because that's honestly a lot of the reason why he does what he does. Money motivates Rob more than anything else.
yeah, I see that.
I don't care about any of that. That's actually not why I agreed with the sentiment that he was. And there's actually a misconception about why.
So I don't know where the I don't know where the term for Trash Panda, I'm not sure in what circles it's used as a anti-black thing. I've never heard that before. So if you're familiar with it, I don't want to necessarily use the term here because in this context it's being used as a slur, I think. So I don't really know much about that kind of thing, and so I don't want to say it. I don't want to speak on it, but it's the term for Trash Panda. But it was used to describe Rob from Comics Explained. I think what that means is that as a member of the black community, he's masking, meaning he doesn't really want to be a member of the black community, or like a self-hating person in the black community. I'm not sure. I don't know. But so I watched a reaction to this reaction, which is hilarious, but I watched a reaction to a reaction, and again, this is 30 minutes, so I don't want to like dwell too long on this particular issue, but
People think I called Rob.
he says it a lot better than I do. So basically what happened is Rob has some friends who are very, very blatantly white supremacists. I'll even type them in. You'll who else is it's I think the quartering. Well, we'll hear it in the video. We'll hear. I'll type them in as I hear them.
Actually, even some misconception on Rob's part as to why I called him. And for anyone who was wondering, yes, I have actually spoken with Rob in the time that all this has gone on. I actually tried to reach out to him before I made my statement publicly defending him from allegations of such, and he kind of blew off the whole thing as if it didn't really matter, or he didn't really actually care. Like, he literally chuckled it off with like, oh, LOL.
So this whole thing is only happening over the last like few days, only happening over the last like week. So this is fresh. This is hot off the presses. If you're a content creator drama kind of person.
Let's get that out of the way first. And after I defended him from allegations of because he does not, quote your fingers, represent or support black characters, evidence to the contrary came out of the woodwork, so to speak. In a Threads post that I put up defending him in video format, mind you, someone pointed out to me that Rob follows white supremacists.
Oh yeah, the Critical Drinker and Nerdrotic. So if you're not familiar with these guys, they actually are straight up white supremacists. And I think what happens when people hear that is they think that they're marching in the streets with white hoods on. That's not what that means. Whenever someone says that somebody is white supremacist, it means that they say and do things that hurt marginalized communities. All for the sake of promoting the white race, the superiority of the white race. And a lot of the stuff, a lot of the discourse, which again, only reinforces why he shouldn't be following these people, a lot of the discourse surrounds the meaning of the word white supremacist. And like, oh, that's such an offensive term. You should never use that to describe anyone. Fuck you! Yes, you should. If they're saying white supremacist stuff,
then you should call them white supremacists. If they're saying Nazi stuff, you should call them Nazis. You know, it really, really, really is absolutely necessary. Because why are we having these labels that strike fear into people's hearts if we aren't using them for the right fucking people? Anywho, Rob had an initial response to this. I think that he put on X, where it was not apologetic. It was not, you know, trying to right the ship or anything. It was all just, oh, well, you know, my dad always taught me that you want to try and listen to people because you may learn something from them that you've never heard before. And I get that that's a great platitude to live on when you are a child interacting with things the way that a child would. But you can't take that into adulthood and think that's an appropriate way to operate within society. I understand that political discourse is a thing, and I understand that spirited debate is a thing too. Like, that's fine. It's totally okay. But if you are simply just following someone for internet clout, then you don't have to follow those people. You don't have to listen to that side of the argument because you know what they're saying. They're trying to erase you as a person.
Oh boy, Nazis.
There were people, when I talked about this publicly online on Nerds of Culture just this past week, there were people who tried to come to me and to his defense saying that, oh, well, he's probably only doing it for research, or he's probably only doing it for this, that. And here...
You don't have to follow people in order to do research. You can just you can type stuff into the search bar, and you can be like, hey, I'm going to find information on this one thing I'm looking for. I know because that's what I've done before. You don't have to be like, oh, hey, I've got to subscribe to these guys in order to do research. That's just not a thing.
I want y'all to stop because y'all actually gave him an excuse that he later parroted in a video response to that getting out. And I want to point out in this video, which I believe was like almost 10 minutes long, he spent almost the entirety of the video talking about Blue Marvel and a bunch of other ancillary bullshit, and then waited till the last minute of the video to address the fact that he follows white supremacists, and he
So yeah, it's just one video. I don't know if he deleted it or if it's not up there anymore. Oh my god, I can't type right now. I'm trying to type while I'm doing stuff on here. So I don't think, yeah, this isn't a thing. So it's gone. It's gone from his channel. It's not on there anymore. Yeah. So do you see what I mean? Like, I don't know. It feels like he removed that, or it's somewhere else. And I don't know where that one is, but it was pretty bad.
did it almost as if, and I'm not the only one who thinks this, there's a lot of people who were responding to me pointing this out. A lot of people were even saying that it kind of felt like one of his explainer videos. Like the way he framed it, the way he kind of danced around everything and didn't really talk about the things supposedly he was there to talk about. But at the end of it, we did have
yes, as soon as I'm done with him telling the story, because again, he tells it better. It's straight from the horse's mouth, you know. And if you know, I'll just say afterwards where my red flags were.
About it.
I just want to get through it.
I personally addressed him before giving my opinion on this. And I'm going to tell you, matter of fact, before I tell you what he said in that video that didn't make any goddamn sense, let me talk to you guys about what actually happened in that DM exchange. Basically, to start the whole thing off, on February 5th, I said, hey, caught a glimpse on Twitter, all the shit going on over there. You good? Question mark. And once again, he messaged me like a few hours later saying, always, LOL. Now, this is before I found out that on Twitter, he follows very well-known white supremacist Gary, was it Welcher? I don't know, maybe he's a Bob Burgers character, I don't know. But otherwise, Gary, aka Nerdrotic, and Will Jordan, aka Critical Drinker. Two people who are at the forefront of many of the racist and, just outright bigoted across the board, not even just racist, but like homophobic, transphobic, really just about any kind of phobic you could add to it that would be just completely ridiculous for a person to feel about another human being. And yeah, he follows them. And
So there, if you're not familiar, Nerdrotic and Critical Drinker. They're very like, you know, oh, this thing's woke. Oh, this thing's like they're trying to trans our youth. Oh, cats in litter boxes. Oh, people doing whatever, you know, like they do the same shit that all the alt-right people do, and it's all just the same grift over and over and over again. They want to say controversial shit so that it gets them more views. That's all it is. And I mean, I'm sure they actually have those views, but at least when the algorithm was different, they were hiding those views, and they no longer feel like they have to hide those views because the Trump administration has emboldened people to openly be racist. And, you know, social media ain't cracking down on it anymore, so there you go. Critical Drinker is, I think, from Australia? I'm not sure. But he has a very 2015 alt-right view on pretty much all marginalized classes. If you talk about, I mean, he says Jews run the world. He thinks that black people are all lazy. He thinks that, he's like, oh, what, like we need to see another black, gay, lesbian woman on the screen, kind of stuff. And I assume that Rob's response to this, or at least at this moment in time when I'm learning about this, I assume that Rob's response is going to be, oh, well, I didn't know, or like, they don't, if he didn't know that they were doing what they're doing and still watch their content, then he doesn't recognize dog whistles, which is completely fine. Completely fine. Totally okay. Ignorance is fine, is a reason, but it's not an excuse, right? So at some point, you're going to have to make the choice of whether or not to keep following these people. Let's continue.
And when I saw that, that was kind of my canary in the coal mine, which, to be fair, there should have been others. Rob's done plenty of dumb, problematic shit.
And I'm going to point out one of them, if I can find it. At the very beginning of Chip Zdarsky's run, when he first did the comic, or the breakdown for it, it was really weird how he avoided talking about Robin's boyfriend. I thought that was very strange. I thought that was like a really weird moment. I think it might be this one, but I'll keep trying to find it. But he says like his good friend as opposed to his boyfriend, and I think it's pretty well known that the guy that Robin, like that Robin is dating a guy. So it's a little telling of something not entirely cool.
Are any of you guys reading Batman and Robin out of a warehouse window into a helicopter? It's the most Damian Wayne thing that you could in the midst of a turf war. So, you know, take it for
I think
what it
this is the one.
In fact, one of the cops says, Susan and I will be praying for you. It's just like, probably imagine.
It's when Vandal Savage first takes over the thing, the Gotham Police.
In, right? And it's like, I was on the worst thing in the world. Men last
But I think it's Tim Drake, not
and never recovered.
Damien.
But as far as Two Faces, like the Falcone heist.
Yeah, no, it was way before that. And then we'll get into the
Patterns has some...
the other stuff. No, it's not that one. We'll find it. I'll find it. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. Even if it takes all stream. Batman. Oh no, it is this one. Haha. Because it's when Robin ends up in the car with all the guys because he's like shot or whatever.
Kind of like a rite of passage type of situation. But this small little moment will become important as we get, right? Is it like jewelry? Is it clothing? And one of the cops kills him. This is going to be really interesting though, right? This is going to be one of these really interesting things.
All right. So we'll continue that in a second. But that was my sort of like most recent red flag. And it's such a passive thing, but passive homophobia? I don't know.
before this. But yes,
I
that was
don't
my
know.
canary in the coal mine. And I want to make something clear. This wasn't something that, like, oh, he had just started following them. He said that he started following them 6 months ago in that video I kind of alluded to earlier. But either way, he doesn't follow very many people. He follows like 200.
Which is why it's deleted. He tried lying about it.
All 215. Critical Drinker and Nerdrotic were damn near at the bottom of his follow list, which, for those who don't know, if you're on Twitter, you look at someone's follow list, whoever's at the bottom are the people that person has been following the longest. Let's get that out of the way. But then, he comes back later after I saw this evidence and then said, yes, okay, maybe you guys were right. He is a... I actually said that on Threads. And then, apparently, I guess he saw it, which, I mean, honestly, I wasn't trying to hide it from him. The reason why I didn't, like, reach out to him immediately when I saw that shit is because I knew how long it would take him to respond. Because typically, when I reach out to Rob, I think this was in 2024, I hit him up, it took him a few days to respond. So if I literally just would have sat there, there was a high probability that it could have been a while. I remember one time I said, hey, there's something you want to talk to me about. And he was like, yeah, I'll hit you up in a day or so. And the next time that I heard from him was when I reached out to him over a year later. so I just want to point this out.
So those are shitty people. Now, I don't know if you've ever tried to talk to somebody on YouTube, or if you've ever tried to network, if you've ever tried to, like, get a hold of somebody that is, like, a little bit of a social tier higher than you or whatever. But it's like they lose all capabilities of being social once they hit a certain level of public eye, which is weird. You know, I understand that that world might be insular, and you know, you have handlers who kind of keep you away from people from the general public. Like, if you have to send a letter to someone, you hit up their publicist, or you send them a message on Insta or something like that, and then their publicist will get back to you. No, it'll be like, you know, their handler. People have handlers. And I think even people with just a few followers, even if it's a couple million, that's, you know, it's not like Hollywood or anything. They feel emboldened enough that they don't have to actually engage with their audience anymore. Like, at some point, it's just a ship that's going to steer itself, which is such a red flag. that's a pretty red flag.
Doesn't talk to me the way that he might try and make it seem like he talks to me. I'm not in his inner circle. I'm not like some of his other, you know, content creator peers where he's buddy with, like Sal and Comic Drake, so on and so forth. I barely know the guy. You know, outside of the conversations you all have seen us have, you know, on social media, or like in a video or live stream or something like that. But then we go on to...
So he's given real pick-me energy, but you got to look beyond that, and you got to just look at the stuff that he's saying, because he seems a little desperate. And, like, I guess I could see how, from a detractor's point of view, how that would be unconvincing of me if I was, like, a staunch supporter of Comics Explained. Luckily enough, I could give a shit less about any single channel when it comes to comics. And I guess I prefer long reads. So, like, I don't know, people... just random channels, honestly. It was very Marvelite, Marvelous long reads or whatever. And heck, if they're white supremacists too, I'll unfollow them as well. But do you see how easy that is? When you figure something out, when you learn new information about something, you stop doing that thing if it hurts other people. There you go. It's very simple.
You know, Rob sees the video, he messaged me on Discord, and I kind of give him about roughly the same treatment he gives me. I didn't immediately respond. I actually saw that he had messaged me and was like, okay. And moved on with my day. I went to a hip-hop show, hung out with my kid, did the husbandly things, and then, I was, just doing other stuff.
And he's like this weird amount of insecure. Like, he's got a wife and kids, but he, like, talks about, like, boobs and butts and stuff, and, like, his Insta feed and shit like that. Like, I think what ended up happening was he was insecure about it, and he was, like, trying to hide this stuff, like, and people were like, oh no, you shouldn't hide that. If you don't have anything bad about yourself, you shouldn't hide anything. But he took that to mean that you should just give information that people don't want. Like, I had to do the husbandly thing. You know what I mean? Just so that you can sound normal, but it's like the reverse of sounding normal. It actually makes you sound really weird.
Did a live stream that day too. I was like, hey, I'm gonna give him the same energy he gives me. When I actually finally got done with my day and came back and read, I saw that it said, hey, I saw your Thread video though. I didn't realize you felt that way. And which is kind of funny, because when he's talking about the video, I actually didn't say anything negative about him in the video. So
I don't know what that means, right? The Trash Panda, like, I know that it's a slur, and I know that it's just not okay to say, but I don't know what it means. And so initially, when they were posting, they sent a picture of a raccoon to each other. Or not to each other, but he posted an emoji of a raccoon saying, you're right, he is a raccoon. And I was like, I was trying to figure out what that meant. I was like, what? What? What does that mean? So I don't know. Like, I know that, like, for Asian communities, there are things like terms like banana and like coconut, which are offensive. But you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if it's something like that, or if it's like, I don't know. I don't know what the reference is. I don't know why that's still a thing these days. I thought people stopped using that term a long time ago. So I'm not going to co-opt it. I'm going to play it safe.
Pointed out how Rob runs his channel and what matters to him, so I don't really know what there is to be angry about that. I was like, and I even was honest and said the thing that he even admitted later, that he doesn't know shit about Milestone.
I would not purport to be an expert on Milestone comics. Right? I mean, I could lie and say that I am, but anyone who's knowledgeable about Milestone could press me for 5 minutes and figure out that I'm full of shit. Right?
There's also this weird thing with, like, comic book people where they feel like they have to quiz each other on their knowledge of comics. And, like, I noticed that among collectors, too. It's like, any collector, for some reason, like, them collecting that thing makes them feel superior to others who don't have as many of those things. Which is so insecure. That's just such a, like, such a weird... You're not going to bond with anybody in your community if you're just constantly trying to measure each other and be like, oh, looks like I've got more than you do. Or it looks like I've got better quality or whatever, you know? Like, that's just strange.
And making the statement that I'm knowledgeable about Milestone.
And then he messages me.
You don't have to be knowledgeable about a comic book company in order to promote their stuff. Hate to break it to you, Rob, but you really don't. You can be completely clueless about Image Comics and still talk about a video or talk about a series of books that you enjoy. Aren't required, just because your username is Comics Explained, you are not required to teach people about comic books. Most of the time, people watch your shit just to see the cool artwork and to see, like, you know, a lively retelling of the stuff in the pages. That's really all it is. And I don't know. It feels like if you're gonna make it more than that, if you're gonna try to push back on all this stuff that's happening here, then you're not maintaining yourself very well. You're not doing good maintenance. Not mental health, not behaviorally. You're failing across the board.
Like, I think almost a couple of hours later, basically saying that, well, I guess your thread video and your comments agreeing that I'm and it's kind of funny because, once again, he's mischaracterizing the situation. In that video, I never said he was so that lets me know he didn't actually watch that video. I actually was very defensive of Rob. And here, I'll show you what I said. Okay, so I saw people cooking the man shit on the artist formerly known as Twitter yesterday, and I saw it kind of escalate a little bit more the past few hours, and I wanted to talk about it a little bit and kind of maybe give some perspective.
Turn the face cam off real quick just so I can toke this bowl. Smoke them if you got them.
You know, black comics and black comic creators, black superheroes, stuff like that during Black History Month. And while I think the person who threw that label at him was kind of out of pocket, I also have to admit that there is a reason maybe why there is this perception. Now, let's go ahead and just clear the air here. Rob has talked about black characters on his channel before. As a matter of fact, he once did it to his detriment. He is a lot of the reason why a lot of people know who Blue Marvel is to this day. And he is the biggest comics YouTuber out there. That's not a lie. It's objective. It's literally fact. it's a fact. But the problem is that in the past when he has tried to talk about black stories, like case in point, I remember once he did a video about Sam Wilson as Captain America when that was first a thing, and his audience crucified him for it because his audience is largely white. This is why he doesn't talk about black characters very often. And I would also say you're also really only going to get black characters out of him that are like that he knows from Marvel and DC. He's not really going to talk about black characters outside of that, and let's keep it up. Those characters are white-owned in a lot of cases. Really, in all cases, because, the corporations themselves are white.
Which is, obviously a thing. Minority representation is not where it was, intended to be, right? If we were supposed to be an equal society. Certainly ain't up at the acceptable level, especially when we're, when people seem to be getting confused about why measuring crime statistics per capita is a bad thing. But you know what? That's a tangent. I won't go off on that. I'd love to. Because a bunch of you alt-right assholes out there have tried telling me why don't you measure by per capita? Which is the stupidest fucking argument you could make for why black people don't deserve to have a good community.
Now, if you want to talk about milestones, I saw other people like Jake Number bring up, and he doesn't bring up milestones, and a lot of other people brought this up as well. I'm going to keep it a buck with you. Rob doesn't know anything about milestone. He doesn't read milestone, at least not to my knowledge. I've talked to the guy before, both on a hot mic and off mic, and you can even go back and look at past blurcades where he's come on. He's openly admitted he doesn't really know much about milestone. He doesn't keep up with milestone. Rob doesn't really read many comics outside of like talked to him and brought up comics that weren't like big two comics. He generally wasn't aware of like what was going on. And that's the same for milestone. I think he only really knew about milestone because of Static, and not even because of the comic Static, but because of the Static Shock animated series. To the point that he even calls Static Shock, even though it's not actually Static's name. Yeah, that's another story altogether. And I wanted it straight from you. I honestly can't lie and say it doesn't break my heart. You actually fuck with racists like Nerdrotic and Critical Drinker. Fuck the video shit. You cover what you want. I stand by that. But you can't give me a reason that would make sense to me why you fuck with people like them. They are OD racist, insidiously anti-black, two of the most homophobic and transphobic men in our circle. Others, seeing you follow them pretty much endorses their bullshit. I hate to see it, and it made me seriously question some things you've said and done in the past now. Try to make me understand. I'm willing to listen. Maybe I got it wrong. I'm willing to give grace, but I can't promise I'll like the answer. Now, Rob responds a little bit more immediately than what he would normally do, and I'm gonna tell you why, and it's because of two reasons. One, he was angry at me, and two, I'm willing to gamble he was hurt. He had hurt feelings. I can promise you that, because the way he was responding to me basically just kind of gave the game. It almost kind of reminded me of times when, like, you have, like, a breakup. Like, you got somebody you're dating, and then, like, y'all break up, and, like, fire back responses, and, like, some of those responses feel kind of petty, and, whatnot. That's what it kind of felt like, and which is wild, considering I don't think we were really all that close. I think I was actually one of the few black people that Rob interacted with other than his wife. He claims he has other black friends, but I find that doubtful. Just based on things he said and done. But then he sends me this video, and once again, this is like a almost 9.5 minute video. He just dropped the video, like, he said, hey, watch this. Watch this video. And this is going to answer all of your questions. And while technically he was correct, it answered all my questions, I don't think I gave him the response he was hoping for, because my immediate response to this video was, I said I was right. I wasn't gonna like the answer. I was like, I don't follow either of them or anyone like them, and yet I'm always aware of the racist, hateful shit they say. I have plenty of ways to suss that shit out without giving the appearance of endorsing them. How would you feel if you knew I followed Charlie Kirk or Candace Owens or Donald Trump or David Duke? Would that shit sit right with you? And Rob's response, honestly, I kind of saw coming a mile away. And it was basically what let me know, yeah, we were done. We were done. Like, whatever it is that anyone thought we were, that shit wasn't happening. And he basically said, it wouldn't matter to me, because it has no effect on me or my life, but you do you, home slice. So when I saw that, honestly, I was going to leave it right there. But then, like about a little over 30 minutes later, he comes back and says, oh, and one last thing. As far as giving the appearance of endorsing them, you just found out I followed them today, yesterday. I've been following them for over 6 months. If I was endorsing them, you would have found out a long time ago. And he posts a screenshot of, part of the thread, like the thread that I had put out.
No, giving the impression of endorsing them. The impression. That's what he said. Give the impression that you're endorsing them. That's bad. That's not good. That's not what you want.
Which is kind of funny because he posted about roughly around the same time that I was typing the message that I'm showing you guys now. I actually sent it immediately after. He didn't respond, which honestly, I don't care. Yeah, it is what it is. But my response, I thought, even in that, was gracious. Because I saw the fuck off after, because literally right as I was hitting enter, he had sent that. He sent the now fuck off part. So I was like, you know what? Whatever. I was like, you know what? Let the chips fall where they may. I was like, he and I, we are officially enemies now at this point. That's what that is. But basically, I just said to leave it where it was sure, whatever. Anyway.
Now fuck off, Ernie. Now, I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. But isn't it worse for your argument if you try to deflect? Isn't that worse for your argument? Now fuck off, Ernie. That sounds like a petulant child. That sounds like my friend's kid came over this weekend and she was like, "You look like a potato. You look like a Shrek." Like that kind of shit. Yes, I got cooked by a 9-year-old.
Hope you get your shit together, dude. I used to have a lot of respect for you. Seriously. Fuck views, fuck subs, fuck internet fame, fuck rubbing elbows, fuck all of that. This all lives matter, MGTOW, Nazis might be right bullshit you're on is next level weird. Please, seek help. The bullet point of that video,
So, I mean, yeah, this guy's being a little bit of a bitch about it, which yeah. Imagine being a part of the marginalized community that a member of your community is part of, and well, I already said that, yeah. and then you see that they're like passively giving support to people who want your race gone. I would be pretty pissed too. Now, I think maybe this guy, I think his name's Ernie. Rob said to fuck off Ernie, so I assume his name's Ernie. But like, yes, he needs therapy. He needs therapy. Yes, obviously. He's got a lot of insecurity issues. He's projecting a lot of stuff onto his audience and the people, the targets of the people that he's talking about. But he's right about a lot of this stuff. So you can be a little insufferable yourself, but also right. And you can be insufferable, or you can be a good guy, a seemingly good guy who everyone likes, and follow pieces of shit, thus passively endorsing the things that they do. But both are correct.
And it was basically to say that he follows Critical Drinker and Nerdronic because he gave some screen about his dad telling him, no, you gotta know what both sides are saying. You gotta know what both sides are saying. Okay, I'm sure your dad actually told you that bullshit, but here's the thing I don't think he told you. I don't think he told you to actually, like, follow them. Like, to actually, like, have their shit show up on your social media.
Yeah.
I'm almost positive that might not have been the exact sentiment.
Getting into the whole...
Is he gonna say it?
Right, about one of, like, people started to figure out that, like, I follow Critical Drinker and Nerdronic.
Yeah, okay, here you go.
Yeah.
He might actually
I
say
mean,
it here.
somebody tweet out and asked that question. Do you follow Nerdronic and Critical Drinker? I would have been like, yep. Now, why do I follow them? Because when I was younger, my dad gave me a really good piece of advice, which was
This is bad. This is
if you
really bad.
stand for something, then you need to know what the other side believes, and you need to know what the other side stands for, and you need to listen to what the other side...
What he was saying is, if you're going to stand for something, you need to know what the other side believes.
has to say. Not because you respect them, not because you like them, but because you are not right 100% of the time. And
so let's say that your stance is black people deserve to live. Right? And the stance of the bad guy, or the white guy, or whoever, the oppressor in this case, is the stance is that you don't deserve to exist. Where's the objectivity there? Where do you need to be objective? I think if someone's standing in front of me saying, I think you should die, then I know what they believe. I know what their stance is. Do I have to then say, thank you, sir. Thank you for your contribution. I appreciate your feedback. I'm going to take that into consideration. Just to have decorum, just to be like, oh, we're cooperating. He wants you dead. This is the same argument the alt-right uses when they talk about, gay people and throwing them off of roofs in Iran. They're like, oh, you should move to Iran. I hope that you enjoy getting thrown off a roof for defending these people. First of all, that's not a thing. Second of all, you can want people to not die and still not necessarily like them or want to be around them. That's called morals. Something that seemingly Christians don't really have, I guess.
they are not wrong 100% of the time. And how could you possibly know?
Someone walks down the street and they say the N slur to you. And you respond by saying, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why would you say something like that? And then they turn around and they say, well, because you're all pieces of shit. You all deserve to fucking die. Do you need to listen to both sides? Is that you need to stay objective somehow to something like that? Or even, let's just say that they're taking the route of trying to reason into black people not existing. Then, I mean, they could say something like, well, if you look at crime adjusted for population, black people commit way more crime than white people do. Then, yes, I guess as a conscientious black man, I have to listen to your platform, and I have to listen to your stance, and I have to then really consider it. Do we commit the most crime? Well, we are arrested more often. We are convicted more often. We are refused for jobs and promotion more often, thus putting us into poverty more often. I guess so. I guess we do commit more crimes. We must be just bad to the core, right? Is that the perspective that I need to gain from listening to the other side? No. No. Very simply.
Whether or not you're right.
No, sir, Bob.
Any opinion other than your own. At that point, you're just confirming your own views over and over and over again, right? And
you can read news. You can look at studies. You can hear them speaking in random videos on your feed. I mean, the racism is pretty much everywhere. And looking at any, like, Republican-aligned, talking points, laws, policies that they're discussing in Congress and the Senate, all that kind of stuff, you can see the racism's right there. It's all right there, right? Nice, wrapped up in a nice little package. It's all right. The racism, the transphobia, the homophobia, it's all there. It's all there. The Christian nationalism, the white supremacy, it's all right there. All of that stuff is on display in our discourse every fucking day of the goddamn year, Robert. If that is your real name, because I only know you as Rob, I assume. Could be Roberto, Robadabading-dong. So I don't know. I don't want to assume. But you ain't gotta support their platform in order to hear them out. You can simply hear the things they say. Watch it. Look. Watch this. See, I can search for you here, even though I'm no longer following you. Do you see how that works? You see how that works? Isn't that strange? Isn't that weird? It's weird. I don't have to subscribe to you. I unsubscribed to you, and I can still look at your stuff. Isn't that strange? Isn't that weird? Because I disagree with you, sir.
So that's why I follow it.
You and I fundamentally disagree on the quality of people that you should follow. Not only that, but you've shown your ass now twice in response to this in public videos. I wish that live stream had been recorded. Because that was pretty bad.
Critical drinker or neurotic, and I have no problem admitting that publicly. If I happen to bump into them at a Comic-Con, they're like, "Oh my God, your comics explained. Where do you stand? Do you want to get a beer?" I would just be like, "No," and then I would leave, right? But I do listen to them because it's entirely.
You can tell that he's never ever thought of what to say when rejecting Critical Drinker or Nerdrotic if they were to come up and say, "Hey, you want to get a beer?" He'd never considered that. He probably would have, if this hadn't come to light, he probably would have greeted them as old friends. Been like, yeah, man, let's get a beer together. If he's that sort of guy, maybe he's couching the idea of not getting a beer with them in the fact that maybe he doesn't drink very often. That would be a little bit of a sneaky sleaze, but we can only base our opinions of what somebody's going to do on their character. Okay, guys? Okay, it's very important that we remain distant and compartmentalized to take in all of this information objectively.
Possible that they have an opinion out there somewhere that actually
/S
gives me reason to rethink my own viewpoints. That maybe I'm not actually as right as I've been telling myself I am this entire time.
This is a sick Negro.
Real talk. If you need a white supremacist, you need to follow a white supremacist. Two of them. Bear in mind, two completely different white supremacists. In order to make sure that you're on the right side of things, or you're hoping
You're
that
being
they'll give you some
objective, yeah.
information that's going to maybe change your worldview on something. Like, look, if you ever find yourself in opinions with a white supremacist, you need to revisit some shit.
This is the point that I was making. Why would you try to find common ground with a Nazi? Why would anybody try to find common ground with a Nazi? Why try to... I wish I could type that into, like, the universal AI system that exists, that oversees us all, and just say, why are people trying to find common ground with fucking Nazis? Fucking is in all caps. I would say in parentheses afterwards. I meant to put fucking in all caps, but I forgot. So I just wanted to put this little explainer here telling you why I meant to put fucking in caps. Of course, I could have just gone backward, deleted all of this, and put fucking into caps. But now I feel as though I've entered a sunken cost fallacy, and I need to keep this going as long as possible. So, in summation, I meant to put fucking in caps, and yet, somehow, through some cosmic failing, I forgot that I could just delete all of the words that I'm typing right now, including this, and this, and this, as well as this, and this, and this, and gone back and capitalized fucking the way that it was meant to be. You know what? I think I'm just going to go ahead and delete all of this, and I'm going to go ahead and put fucking into all caps like I meant to, so that I can save myself the trouble of having to type out the rest of a rambling, nonsensical message. Actually, I think on second thought, you may find this funny, so I'm going to leave this here, just in case you might think it's hilarious that I decided to put fucking into all caps and then forgot that I can delete all of these letters in order to make this way more concise and put fucking into caps, decided to do it, then decided not to do it once again so that I could finally just complete this whole joke and make you laugh, or at least put a smile onto your face. I hope you have a wonderful day. Cute smiley face. Yes, I typed that out instead of did the emoji. End parentheses. I also typed that out. End parentheses. I think I just blacked out for a second. Where am I? Is this my mouse? See, you know, I don't know why we're streaming to 0 viewers today. We went from 11 down to 0. 11 viewers on Thursday. Can you believe it? I was doing tarot. Tarot's usually my slowest day. Thursday in general being slow. But man, we had like 200-300 views on the video. It was cool. It was real cool. And now it's bupkis. It's bupkis, I tell ya. People flipping in and then flipping right out. Swiping in, tapping in. Whatever the term is. They're doing it in, and then they're doing it out. And the arms of my glasses are hurting my temples. I need new glasses. I need new prescription.
Yeah, please.
This is what age.
I don't need white supremacists to let me know
This is what ADHD looks like. I'm just so you know. FYI.
that I'm on the right side of things, okay? Maybe if you're morally compromised or morally bankrupt, and honestly, I think Rob is. I also think he's got some anti-blackness in him. Because he leaps at opportunities to shit on other black people. Which,
Now, I did not put 2 and 2 together on this because I don't see color. But I didn't put 2 and 2 together on this. But he does kind of have an anti-black bias when he's talking like about the like, oh, I know how everyone always shits on Adam Brashear. I know how everyone always like shits on Black Lightning. I know you're all gonna I know you're all gonna bitch at me. You're all gonna be like, you know, like he always. It's like you're putting out a fire before you know it's gonna happen, but it's racial. You're putting out a racial fire. You're putting out a fire. You're putting out something like it's almost like you're putting out like a burning cross, right? When it's just a cross at this point. So it's like you're setting fire to a cross. It's like you're a black man and you're walking up to a cross that you see in a field and you pour some gasoline on it. You set it on fire and then you step back and admire your handiwork. And then you say, I knew this was going to happen. I want to change the song at least. Fuck. Go back to your home. I'll lose the cats. Can't I go back home? Well, whatever. You get to listen to the sewer soundtrack now. That's right. Oh shit, I can play this while we're watching. I didn't even realize. So yeah, if you're on YouTube, if you're tapping in or sliding in or whatever the kids are calling it these days, turn your YouTube app thing horizontal, because otherwise you won't get the full picture. Which could, I guess maybe that is where my biggest failing was. Maybe I should have just switched off this thing and put on the vertical one. Just the vertical one. You know what? Fuck it. I'll do that for the duration of the remainder of the stream once I'm done commentating on the Comics Explained thing.
it's kind of funny because I've seen him actually talk about how, like, oh, the people who are the most racist to me are other black people. You know, other people of color, they're the most racist to me.
Yeah, the reason why we watch women's basketball.
Oh yeah, he said that.
Because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that.
Dude, pause, fuck. He said that. He said, would you believe it if I said that the people who are the most racist towards me are other black people? I just gotta think, like, what the fuck are you thinking right now? What? Wait, what? Good sir. Good sir. Are you serious? Are you serious? Good sir. Good sir. Sir. Sir.
Nobody coming to see you, Otis.
But literally, I saw him doing this. Like someone actually told me
Sir,
about how he used to
please,
talk shit
sir.
about Angel Reese for no other reason than the fact that she was a black woman. Honestly, that right there in and of itself is a whole other host of problems. But to get us back on task, the reason why
In his reply, he said that Angel Reese, I don't know who that is, but he was like, I was talking shit about her because she's a fucking bitch. He's got some. It feels like he's got some misogyny in him too. Like I'm just noticing all of these like sort of red flags that maybe we should have noticed before. Ooh, I could do like a little. Yeah, I'll make a video. So when I'm breaking this up, I'll put like a little montage of just some of the moments that I've noticed that are. I'll play one of the red flags here. I just really want to get through this. It's important to share.
It's like, well, here's the thing. I don't really follow anything that I don't want to see. Like, I can keep up with what Nerdrotic and Critical Drinker and Heels vs. Babyface and Young Ripper and Melody Mac and
Yeah.
Gamers and all of these other people who kind of traffic
Heels versus
in white
Babyface. Fuck that
supremacy
dude. Ugh.
And, just very
I can't believe we need another woke trans. Ugh.
With anti-black.
Just
I don't have to
yells.
follow them to know what they say. I know what they say.
Just
I have ways
yells
of finding out what
constantly.
they say. I don't need a play-by-play, blow-by-blow of what they do. And honestly, that's what you get if you follow somebody. Now, once again, he only follows 215 people, and just based on how my social
Which
media
is, like,
algorithm works,
Also
I
such a
follow over
telling
1,000 people,
thing.
on Threads, and I don't think that it really goes outside of the spectrum of comic book artists and writers, wrestlers, actors, singers.
Okay. Then he goes on to list like titties and butts and stuff like that. Like what? Why? You're oversharing. And I think it's a lack of confidence thing. Like he doesn't believe in himself. Like he thinks that if he doesn't mention it, but people are gonna find out, that it makes him look worse than if he mentions it now, where he can be like, yeah, that's right, I like butts. Yeah, what? I'm not picking my nose. I just have there's a long hair in there, and I'm trying to pull it out without anyone noticing, but it's probably too conspicuous on camera. You know, phone to be here on the internet, projecting a picture of my face over on the air in the space dust.
Developer, and political activists. Those are like the 8 types of people I follow, and my feed is largely like political activism, titties, ass, political activism, video games, anime, titties, ass. That's my feed. That's
See
my
what I
feed.
mean?
So what you're telling me is that, like, yeah, it's like, okay, comic book shit,
Little
oh,
unnecessary.
white supremacy. Oh, comic book shit, white supremacy. That's basically what his feed is. Once again, I did a video actually talking about and breaking down some of the things that were being said, debunking a lot of things that were said that you said about like people like Nerdrotic and Critical Drinker. I didn't watch their videos, like not on their channels or anything. I didn't follow them. I downloaded them off of YouTube and then watched them in my own time. I don't give them I don't give them metrics. I don't give the appearance of enjoying their content. Like they get nothing from me. Like if you see me watching a nerd, even like on my live streams where we've like responded to shit that like Nerdrotic and Critical Drinker and other people like them, even in those live streams, we're not watching their video on their channel. That video has been downloaded from their channel without even clicking on the video. Thus, they get nothing from me. It seemed like a very piss poor excuse because honestly, I know what happened.
Also, more that's overcompensation, but he's still right. It's overcompensation. But I even download the video. I would never view their video. I would never give them the engagement. Never. How dare you insinuate that, sir? It's a little much, but I get it. He's right. He's still right. Still right. But please continue, sir.
And now that I think about it, I think I know what video he's talking about. I think he's actually talking about the Nerds of Culture live stream. I think he tuned in for it, and I think that's where he got that other stuff from. Because he kept thinking about the Threads video, but I think he was actually thinking about the live stream. Because there, I was very loud and proud about what I had to say about him. Because by that point, evidence had all
More overcompensation. I think he got all the stuff out.
milestone, and he was just really quiet. He didn't,
I don't think he
but it was also within the same.
has
You don't
anything
stand
else
for anything,
substantive.
then you stand for nothing, or you stand for the status quo. Take that how you wanna, but
That was a good closer to that. If you don't stand for anything, then you stand for nothing, or you stand for the status quo, which arguably worse. So yeah, I'll play that section. This was like a really just kind of a red flag to me. Yeah, I don't know really what else there is to say about it. Let me just see if I can fast forward to the part. He's in the hospital. He's in the hospital. And his BFF comes to visit him. If you catch my drift.
Respecting his elders, but in the midst of all this, there's gunshots outside, and Houston goes outside with his recording phone and sees the entire scene unfold with Batman. that whole shootout down there. And then he actually gets footage that we didn't know occurred. For example, when Vandal Savage was holding up, right, a batarang to the police that had blood on it and said, this is clearly the act of Batman who attacked these cops. Vandal Savage placed it there. He literally put it there. And then he called the investigator over and was like, look at this. Clearly Batman did this, right? He planted evidence and the whole thing is caught on camera. Now, Vandal Savage doesn't know, right? He has no idea that that's the case. I told you guys, this story is dope, right? He has no clue that that's the case. And so at that point, he goes and visits the surviving cop. And Savage just asked this guy,
Come on.
save your words, officer. Certain you found the right one to say. Right? It's insane.
So here we go. Here it is.
Dude, he is
Here we go.
so dangerous. I love this version of Vandal Savage. It's one of my absolute favorite versions. And so at that point, you pick up with Bruce Wayne, who of course, goes to see Tim Drake, and Bernard's there, and Bernard just kind of chastises him a little bit. Like, what is it that's going on? Every time he hangs out with you, there's always some instance where he comes back all, bruised and battered and all that kind of stuff. But the real segment here, the thing that actually matters, is actually a back and forth between Annika Zeller and Hugo Strange. Now, Annika Zeller was introduced as part of Matt Fraction's run.
No.
And
Did he
she's
cut that
working
part
on a kind of
out?
Psychotherapy, essentially, that focuses more on why it is that violent criminals commit violent acts. And we actually get a little more context here in terms of what she's working on. So if you're not entirely sure what I'm talking about, this explains it perfectly well. Because the whole thing kind of kicks off with Hugo Strange asking the question,
Oh, sweet. Hell
who
yeah.
gets to decide who is
Thank you.
sane and who is not? Now, of course, the response of Dr. Zeller is, I'm not comfortable with
And
that
did he
claim.
delete my
There are
comment?
quantitative differentiations. And of course,
No.
Hugo Strange fires back. Eugenicists use quantum differentiations. This is no different. You may as well have at your patients
No.
with a machete and then call it surgery. And of course, the reporter, kind of the intermediary between all of this, just says harsh
Did he just
words
cut that whole
from
segment?
psychologist and patient advocate Dr. Hugo Strange. Dr. Zeller, what's your response? And Zeller just says, dysfunction of
way.
electrical activity in the brain can mean
No
profound
fucking
control
way.
dysregulation. My device gives my patients some of that.
Aren't your
control
comments
back.
always at the top,
Fear
right?
prevents us from having a say in how our minds respond to the chaos of trauma, but it requires trust, care, and time. The crown of storms helps regulate electricity in the brain. It calms
This dude
overstimulated regions and
is
excites
covering up.
understimulated ones.
He's
And
a
along with
coverer up.
psychiatric
He's an
medication,
upcoverer.
and that's where Hugo cuts her off. And so you take money from Big Pharma with one hand and Wayne Enterprises with the other. What a
I think he
perfect
deleted my
scam.
comment,
Selling
slash.
snake oil would have more dignity. And in fact, the reporter chimes in and is like, Dr. Zeller has received funding from Wayne Enterprises. Has that compromised your work?
Changed
And
his
she just
video.
says, we received a grant from the Wayne Family Endowment that
So, 'cause,
financed the pilot program, but they have no
it's possible
oversight
he
or
could have gotten
input.
it could have gotten reported. Because, I mean, if you're, I don't know. I don't think it was outwardly homophobic. But, like, he was like, and his friend Bernard is there.
At him in what's probably the most menacing shit I've
No
ever seen.
fucking way.
And he was
Like,
"Indeed,
I don't
save
believe
your
it. I don't
words,
believe it.
officer, until you're certain you found the right one to say." Right? It's insane. Like, dude, he is so.
I bet you if I pulled the
love this
waveform,
version of Vandal Savage. It's one of my absolute favorite
we could
versions.
see the
And so
cut.
at
I'm
that
not going to
point,
go
you
that
pick up
far
with
into
Bruce
it.
Wayne, who of course, goes to see Tim Drake, and Bernard's there, and Bernard just kind of chastises him a little bit. Like, what is it that's going on? Every time he hangs out with you, there's always some instance where he comes back all, bruised and battered and all that kind of stuff. But the real segment here, the thing that actually matters, is
What?
actually a back and forth.
That's totally an
between
edit.
Annika Zeller and Hugo
That's
Strange.
totally an
Now,
edit.
Annika
He just
Zeller
cut
was
it off right
introduced as part
there.
of Matt Fraction's run, and she's working on a kind of psychotherapy.
What
essentially,
on
that
earth?
focuses more on why it is that violent criminals commit violent acts, and we actually get a little more context here in terms of what she's working
I'm
on.
looking
So, if
for
you're not
my
entirely sure what I'm
comment that
talking
I
about,
left.
This explains it perfectly well, because the whole thing kind of kicks off with Hugo Strange asking.
I don't think there's any way I'm going to
who
find it.
gets
3
to
months?
decide
Fuck,
who is
man.
sane and who is not. Now, of course, the response of Dr. Zeller is, "I'm not comfortable with that."
There's got to be like a
There are
bajillion comments
quantitative
on this.
differentiations.
And I don't want to
Of
look at
course,
my
Hugo
history. I
Strange
might have
fires
said
back.
some mean
Eugenicists
shit that I don't
use
want to necessarily
quantum
advertise on stream.
differentiations. This is no different. You may as well have
I mean,
your
I guess I'm
patients
happy
with
to
machete
like do
and then
a
call it
highlight
surgery.
reel
And
of
course,
some of the
reporter,
comments that I
kind of the
leave, but it's
intermediary
usually pretty
between all of
mean.
this, just says harsh words from
I'm
psychologists
I'm trying to
and
be
patient
somewhat,
advocate Dr. Hugo
family
Strange.
friendly.
Dr. Zeller, what's your response? And Zeller just says, so Batman, 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 so Batman gets
I found
new
a- I
bat
found
suit
a,
in this
uh,
story, and it looks absolutely amazing.
A shortcut key
But
that I
the
didn't
lead
know
up
that
to
I
the
enjoyed.
reveal of the bat suit is equally
So
as
Batman,
awesome.
so
what this
Batman,
does is
so
being the
Batman.
continuation-
That Matt Fraction run is always so well painted, drawn. I don't know who does that, but it's Jose something, maybe Jose something.
Man gets a new bat suit in this story, and it looks absolutely amazing.
I don't think
But
I think he's
the
going to
lead
move
up
on
to
from the cover
reveal of
before
the bat
it
suit
shows the
is
bottom.
equally as awesome. So what this does is being the
I want you to do
continuation
it, I
of
want you to
Fraction's
do it,
run
come
in
on.
Batman #2.
Hit me!
This initially
Hit
picks up
me!
Damian
Nope. Nope. Didn't do it. Didn't do it. No, that's fine. That's okay. That's okay. I'm actually going to play the game now, which is, always... Yeah, Jorge something. Which is always, the best part, typically, of any stream is when they actually start playing the game. But, yeah, I mean, just to sum up just my feels on that, on the whole Comics Explained thing, like, I don't know. I think if it was me, and somebody came to me and said, Comics Explained is following white supremacists. Why don't we just use the example as it is? Let it lie. Then, I either saw information contained in that statement to quantify it, or I, saw something later on or something like that, or I recognized my own red flags. And what I would do at that point is then unfollow that person and no longer consume their content. I think it's pretty simple, If you're with your friend and you've known him for a couple of years and you guys are at the bar and you're having a beer and he all of a sudden says, these N-word slurs are really ruining society, I would promptly thank him for the beer. I would then say, it's pretty unfortunate that you decide to choose to be racist, and I would then pay for my beer and I would walk out. And I would never talk to that person again. I would unfollow them on social medias, and I would not consume their content if they were a content creator. It's pretty simple. It's really very, very simple. You do not have to support the people whose views you don't agree with, very simply. And if they're white supremacists, you don't have to try to find common ground with them. You know what their stance is. You know what their deal is, what their vibe is, what energy they're giving. And so you should just not follow them anymore. Perhaps. Take that with a grain of salt. Who am I? I'm not Ernie. I am not Rob. I am not other names that would be Sesame Street characters. I'm not any of these people. I simply am a man with an opinion. And that opinion is that white supremacists should not be supported, nor should Nazis. And I know that might be a controversial view these days, but it shouldn't be. It real shouldn't be. All right. So now we're moving on. We're finally moving on to some Mewgenics. This I don't think that I'm gonna gain any extra, viewership from catering to the new hot trending thing these days. But I think that the one thing that I know for sure is that this game is highly addictive, and I just really wanted to keep playing it this morning. So I did want to take a break real quick and just go over that Comics Explained stuff, but I just really wanted to keep playing this. So that's why we're doing this on a Monday. On a Monday. It's on a Tuesday. On a Tuesday. But it's Monday today, so it's on a Monday. There you go. If it was somebody I knew that said that, I'd probably challenge their viewpoint without being angry. Once I did that, I'd probably excuse myself permanently unless the terms had been met. Yeah, interlocuting with that blatant of a statement, I think, would just send me out the door. If they tried to say something about like some societal failing and then worked black people into it, or worked a minority into it, or worked gay people or trans people into it, like, very good instance. like for a very good instance, my wife's friend who came to visit this weekend, she was like talking about her experiences on Tinder and like guys that she had been dating, and just like openly in front of her 9-year-old daughter, which I was just like, why are you mothering this way? She was saying something like, but I think he's bi, and I was like, said with disgust, and I was like, you'd never date anybody who was bi? And she was like, oh, no, of course not. Like, it was the most natural thing ever. Like, she had been saying, of course, she'd never date a gay guy or a bi guy or whatever, like omnisexual or, you know, whatever. She was just saying that she would never do that, as if it was something that I should have already known. And I was like, wait, so it's because you would never want to date a guy that had fucked another dude? And she like just had like this most disgusted look on her face, and she was like, "Eh." And I was like, well, that's unfortunate. I mean, you're limiting yourself to a pretty. I mean, there's people out there who consider themselves bi or demisexual or omnisexual or whatever, and wouldn't call themselves straight. So you're limiting yourself to everyone but the widest swath of the sexual spectrum. And you don't have to like actively support them fucking dudes while you're dating, or even in general. It is an hour. Yeah, it's over an hour. I can say the term fucking dudes without having to worry about it getting reported. If the people who are here are going to be here, then they're here for the term fucking dudes, okay? But yeah. I don't know. I said, I was like, I don't know. I don't remember the way the conversation went, but she just was just like not, she wasn't hearing me. And I was like, they're not any different from any other person, you know, like, just weird. I date a bi girl, but I wouldn't date a poly girl because, like, yeah, I mean, yeah, if their core value, one of their core values for relationships is that they get to date other people, then that's not what if that's not what you believe in, then yeah, that would be a non-starter. But that's, you know, I guess also part of the problem is that people aren't straightforward and upfront enough with each other these days because they just want the nookie, right? And they want the milk, but they don't want to buy the cow. If I can use so old a phrase, dated a phrase. I'm gonna pee. Not right now, not here. I'm gonna pee in general. Automod doesn't like fucking dudes? I knew it was a bigot. Alright, I'm gonna go pee. I'll be right back. And then we're stuck into Mewgenics. I'll reset the YouTube stream. Hopefully get another few viewers in here. I think my battery's already dying in here. Boning? They don't like you using boning? What? How? Why is that a thing? It doesn't even say it on here. I think it's Stream Elements that doesn't like that. I don't even have it like... It's just a normal chatbot. I don't have it like filtering anything. Whatever, I'll be right back. I don't know why I'm making those noises. I felt powerful, you know? I felt powerful for a second. Just wanted to share that. And now I have to pull up my pants. I mean more like, because I'm an old man, you know, and I wear old, ill-fitting pants. Old, ill-fitting pants. Oh, let me be my old man self for just one moment. Even slurring my speech like an old man.